Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show tonight is Jaffa, Juicy Bear and Albert. And Bridge might be with us, but he's having severe technical issues. Evening, Albert. Albert.
Evening, mate, how are you?
Good, mate, good. Looking forward to the match tomorrow. How are we doing, Juicy?
Good evening, Ox. Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here as always.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Juicy. And my mucker, Jaffa. How are we doing, Jaffa?
How are you doing, Ox? Good to be on the show again, mate. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to a show tomorrow. Good night show tonight and the football tomorrow.
Aye, mate. I had to put the record straight about you this week, mate. Some people were saying what a nice guy he was. And I put him straight, mate. Yeah.
Telling the truth.
Yes. Well, there's been some adventures with the Rangers Radio panellists and the technical team this week. Old Fox has been introduced to Mexican food, Albert. I don't know if he's enjoying it.
Oh, he'll not enjoy that tomorrow.
And we also had one of the Rangers Radio panellists who got a new phone, Jaffa, who will remain nameless. Got a new phone. Thought he had the same number. It didn't. And his wife complained she was getting all these random calls for this strange number. And the Rangers Radio panellists said, right, phone it and we'll see who it is. His wife rang the number. The phone, the other side of the room started ringing. And it was the said Rangers Radio panellist number.
It gets harder as you get older, doesn't it?
She was going to give me a mouthful as well. She said, I was ready to answer that phone and give you a mouthful, whoever it was. I tell you.
Funny stories you can't make up, Albert.
Well, I tell you. Technology, not me, technology don't go on. We're Fred and Wilmer Flintstone. That's what I keep telling her. That's who we are when it comes to technology. Terrible, absolutely terrible.
Just see, there's been a lot of things happened at the club, but we'll get your views, the three-year views on the performance and what you thought of it pre-season friendly. Obviously, firstly for Blackpool, and then secondly for West Ham on Tuesday night. Juicy.
Yeah, the Blackpool game was good, and good start because obviously the Sunderland game was kind of a non-event of a match really in the end. But to go out the way we did against Blackpool was good. But of course, performance that got us all very excited, and we can't get too excited. But what a result against West Ham on Tuesday night. It was not too exciting in the first half, but we weren't bad by any means. It was quite attritional. But in the second half, substitutions and the new players coming on and doing what they did, I think that's why we're all pretty excited at the moment. We just got to keep our heads on a little bit because it's very early. But isn't it great to see that reaction from new players who've clearly been keeping themselves fit over the summer? It's not like they haven't been in training with their previous clubs. So they're not necessarily as far behind as you might think they would be. And now we've got to step up again tomorrow against Spurs. So the quality keeps getting better and better, doesn't it, guys? And that's really where we want to be.
When you actually look at it, that's a great point you make, Juicy, and I'll take that to Jaffa. Partick Thistle, Sunderland, Blackpool. Obviously, Sunderland are now in the Championship, but so are Blackpool were in it last year, so that you accept that they could be further on in Sunderland. West Ham step up again, and then we're stepping up again to Spurs in the Champions League. Yeah, so I can see the planning behind the pre-season, Jaffa.
Yes, exactly, Ox. We were really efficient against Blackpool on Saturday. The ball retention was brilliant. Really good exercise for the players, and the pace of the game was really good. You're right, Ox, to remember that Blackpool are a Championship team and done reasonably well last year, in fact. And they had a couple of tidy players in the team, but substitutions as well, as they made subs as well. But we ran out winners, comfortable winners in the end, and then obviously stepping up, as you say, to Tuesday night to West Ham. And again, just to echo what you're saying, it is a pre-season friendly, but you can only judge what you see, and the first half was we were pretty evens with each other. Wasn't a lot of chances, but Matondo coming on changed the game. I thought I thought Tom Lawrence was good. His movement was good, and his positioning strength. And I thought Kolak was very good up front. Ox, some of his movement off the ball was really good. Caused a lot of bothers. But so it's good to get excited, and then, as you say, tomorrow we've got to step up again with Spurs. And it'll be good to see how we perform in that. And obviously there's been a lot happening with the club as well, with movement of players.
Aye, we have been busy. We'll come in that in a minute and get your thoughts as well, and your 3 thoughts on that. Albert, give us your thoughts. You're sort of, sometimes, I don't mean you're critical, you just say it as you see. But it's only a pre-season friendly, but we done okay. Played some decent stuff, particularly in the second half for about 20 minutes.
Well, the Sunderland game was a joke. That was just a joke to start. Nothing to do with Rangers, know what I mean? And this organisation, it was just a joke. So we can write that one off. But the Blackpool game was a sort of mere... It wasn't a good watch, put it that way, but it was more like a game we're going to face week in, week out up here. So it gave you a wee insight of how we're going to handle that. And we scored 2 good goals. There were 2 cracking goals, know what I mean? That was worth the entry money itself. The West Ham game, the first half of the West Ham game, I thought it was pretty even, and we showed some nice retention of the ball, I thought, in the first half, because that West Ham team will get some really good players. They really are, by the way. And that nonsense that weren't taking it serious, they were taking it serious, and they were up to fitness. So it wasn't they were miles and miles behind with fitness, or miles in front. It was pretty even. But in the second half, that first 20 minutes was breathtaking. The second half, it really was, man. You've got to take your hats off. That was some brilliant football and some great goals. 3 brilliant goals, to be honest with you, know what I mean? Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't like friendlies, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. If that's the standard of friendlies you get, I might even go to the ones, but it was really enjoyable. And hats off to the boys coming in. The boy, quite excited about the boy Lawrence. He shows a good intelligence, and he's got a football brain. I like players with football brains. You know what I mean? He really has got one. The wee boy Montano, he's just one of the guys that's going to get you off the edge of your seat, man. He's just a rocket. He really is, man. The fastest player I've ever seen was Overmiles, and I think he'll top Overmiles. And if he does that, that's some feat today, by the way, because he is rapid. I mean, we hear that used too often, rapid, but that boy is rapid.
Over 20 yards, yeah. Really.
Oh, you're no catching him. You're no catching him, mate. If he gets that ball by you and manages to get back, he's gone. He's gone. You ain't getting back at him, especially up here. Put it this way: proof of the pudding, we weren't eating it with the Champions League games, where all the good players get judged on. So you'll see him in that, and if he's leaving defender standing in that, you know he's a rapid. I mean, because that's a high standard. But as I said before, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Not quite sure with defence yet, but I think we're still working on that. No.
Aye. The left-hand side, the centre backs were chopping and changing. We've had a few in there, haven't we? We've had a few different players in there. So we then move on to recruitment. Go to Jaffa first this time. Jaffa, sad for us that Calvin Bassey's left us. I don't think any of us were surprised, but financially, some deal for the club.
I mean, an unbelievable deal for the club, and I mean, that's like a lottery win for our club, and you just can't. We could never turn. I mean, I think we've spoken on the show a lot throughout the last period of last season about Calvin Bassey's value, and I think to a man, every one of you said if it had a 2 in it, he was a goner. Great deal for us. Bittersweet, of course. I was quite sad and seeing him in an Ajax top, but I wish the young fella nothing but all the best. I think he's a wonderful footballer, and I also think he's a lovely young guy. He's really grounded, clearly very humble. But we just couldn't. We as a club, that's what we're all about now. And that money, by the way things have been going in the last few days, looks like it's getting reinvested. And Gio's got some of those funds to reinvest in some of the players that we're interested in. But that's our model, Ox, and for him to go to Ajax, who are also a fantastic football club with great stature in the game, it says everything. It says everything about where we are seen in European football, and for me, that's what our club is all about. That's what Rangers Football Club is.
Here. Aye, players are going to come and go all the time, Albert. It's always been part of football, you know.
I mean, the thing they've invented the wheel of these people. I've seen something in one of the formats saying that there was a headline for one of the newspapers that that's Rangers following Celtic's model. And it's kind of, what are you talking about? I think they invented this model. It's been there for years and years and years. I mean, forever, actually, since the transferring the players can actually come into being. So you're sitting going, it makes absolute sense. What's put it all out of kilt is the unfair advantage the Premiership is getting in these big clubs in Europe. I mean, that's the way it is. So they're just hoovering in all the decent players. Even if you actually develop them like Bassey, you develop them on a wee bit. They're just hoovering them all in, taking them all away from us. So you're never. The disappointing thing is we had the boy. You see the quality of the boy. You see the boy actually coming on and getting better and better and better. And he was outstanding. They 2 cup finals, absolutely. Not just there, but that was his peak for us. He'll go beyond that, don't get me wrong. But the young Bears, it's good that they actually seen somebody of that quality playing for us and go, that's the quality we all get brought up with. That's the standard that we seen as a matter of fact. And it was good that he played for us, and it's good that they actually seen him doing it and playing that well, because it was fantastic. And I'm with Jaffa and Josie there. I wish the young boy all the best, because he never done anything wrong here. He did nothing but good at Rangers, and I really appreciated it. I liked watching him.
And also, he comes across as a real genuine bloke, doesn't he? You know, so it's hard to...
A real nice boy, aye. He really is.
A bit like myself. Josie?
Absolutely, just what the rest of the guys have said there. I mean, I've enjoyed watching his introduction videos on the AX channel, because I just wanted to hear what he had to say, and he said some wonderful things about the club and our players and the fans, and it's just so nice to hear. And you could tell he meant it. It wasn't just words for the sake of it. He's a good guy. He's a God-fearing man. He's a nice guy, and we're all sad to see him go, but I think we've all got to be very pleased with what he's done for us in the short period he was with us for. And we have to commend the club for selling at his peak. I mean, of course, Albert's right. He is certainly going to get a lot better. But in the period that he was with us, taken advantage, we've sold an asset for an incredible amount of money in relation to what we paid for him. This is a model that, it's no one else's model. You're right, mate. It's been there since the dawn of time, but it's a model that we've not consistently always done the best with in recent years. And I think this is a model that we want to continue with. We've got more assets now, haven't we? Like King and Lowry. They can be the next guys like Aribo and Bassey that we can perhaps move on for big fees in a couple of seasons if they progress the way that we want them to. I think it was incredible business. We've been able to already use that money, and there's more money in the bank should we need it. It's just wonderful, and I wish him all the best. Unless we play
Aye, of course, mate. Once players go, they go, but I think it sort of goes with the vast majority of people's best wishes. We recognise that he had a purple patch, and also, as you rightly say, Albert's such a nice guy. Question for the threes, asked this the other night. How much would they got Calvin Bassey for last Christmas? Jaffa?
Probably £750,000, Ox. Realistically. Because, I mean, the words that always stick in my mind that everybody kept saying, in fact, I think even Steven Gerrard said it, he's very raw and he needs polished off a bit around the edges. And we all said that. And then this season, he just blossomed, didn't he? The more games he got, the stronger he became, and he put his shirt on the peg himself. You couldn't put the guy out of the team. And he was brilliant for his Ox. I reckon £750,000 he would have got for him last Christmas.
You only started 31 games for us, Albert. Are you surprised at that?
Aye. Was that just shy of $500,000 a game? No bad, eh?
Well, it's more than that, actually, but aye, good point you make there, you know.
But I mean, I tipped him last Christmas 30 million, I said, because he was part of my special team. And I'll just rest on that. Thank you very much.
You were nearly so right, mate. You were nearly so right. If they penalty kicks had went a different way, you could have dined out in that one for years, couldn't you?
Oh, aye. That's how I can't watch you back. I still greet thinking about it.
Oh, no, mate, don't mention it. Right, okay. If it's all right with you, we'll get these phone lines opened, yeah?
Smashing.
Yep. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye. It's been a busy week. New strips coming out, players coming in the door. What have you made of the order signings, Juicy?
Well, there was that criticism right at the beginning of pre-season saying that we weren't moving, and maybe they were taking their time a bit. But I don't think anyone can criticise now, can they? We've moved. We've got half a dozen in. There's a little bit of news tonight as well that the young gentleman from Besiktas, Yilmaz, I don't know if any of you guys have heard that story the last couple of days, but he's in Barcelona tonight. Don't panic, because he's in Barcelona for a medical to join Glasgow Rangers.
All right.
Smashing.
The last time I was in Spain with Jaffa, he should have got a medical.
What in the nut?
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We've all said so many times how good people look on YouTube videos, but with this gentleman, he's a very young boy still, only 21, but he's already won what was essentially the treble the season before last with Besiktas when they won everything. They didn't win the league last season, but the season before last. So he's already got winners' medals. He already knows how to win. And when I was talking about Lowry and King earlier as future assets, you'll be able to put this kid right in there amongst them. He's been wanted by a number of clubs. And if this gets over the line tonight / tomorrow, this is a real coup for Rangers to get this kid, because he's seen as a real future star and someone that can go straight in at left back and give Bournemouth that competition. And we'll be able to just swap those two around. So in addition to him, players that we've already mentioned that we brought in, Lawrence looks like a quality player. He looks like he's a no-nonsense player as well. I remember when Rangers played Derby a couple of years ago, how he was getting in Tab's face when they'd had a bit of a stiff challenge. So he's not going to mess around. He's happy to shoot from outside the box. That's what we want to see. We want to see more of our midfielders taking those shots, something we've been critical on this show. And I have been as well. Atondo, well, Old Bear mentioned how fast he was. I just can't wait to see that in the SPFL. And finally, one thing that we haven't mentioned about the West Ham game is those two new players that scored the goals in Lawrence and Atondo, how I think they could potentially unlock Kent and make him more goal-scoring threat this season. And that is something that I'm really looking forward to, because we saw a little glimmer of that with the goal that Kent scored. We could be seeing a lot more of that this coming season. And that was something that we lacked last year. It was the 10-odd goals that Kent scored in the trophy winning season. So I think there's some real magic that could happen there, guys.
All right, mate. All right. We've heard about this boy for a few days now, and it looks as if it could be imminent. I just don't like to comment too much. I don't mind the speculation, but before I see them with a scaffold bear and start him with a strip on, they've no signs,
Aye, that's right, mate. Aye, it's nice to hear about him, no, I mean, because to all accounts he is a player. But you're right, until he's standing there and looking up at the camera and that, Howie, we keep our powder dry. But I agree with Jussie with the rest of them. I like the boy Lawrence. I think he's going to be a cracker. And I like the fact he's got a bit of attitude. Trouble is, you want to watch these referees up here, no? I mean, they'll get itchy whistles, no? I mean, they'll want to send them off all the time. But the wee boy Montonda, you're right. I think they could. Obviously, it's going to help Kent because they're better players. They really are better players. I think it's a step up and all. They have a Big Joe Arrivo, but I think the two of them could be better players than Big Joe. We'll see, but they've got to prove it yet. They've got to prove it.
Well, I think Joe Arrivo's a top footballer, mate. I mean, I think the problem is that I don't think we ever seen what he could have been because I think he's still got more to go. But I might be wrong, but I think he's got more to go. And also, if you build your team around him and let him flourish, I think you could see. I mean, he was a utility man for us and centre forward in the European final and scored a goal. And I think he was undervalued because of his worth, but I understand the contract situation. But again, somebody wants to go, you shake hands and you move on all better.
That's it. It's time to go. It's time to go, isn't it?
Aye, exactly, mate. Exactly. You know, but we'll see. Yeah, by the way, I hope you're right and I'm wrong.
I definitely think I definitely think they've got to prove it. Don't get me wrong. And the glimpse we've seen against West Ham, that 20 minutes, don't get me wrong. If they keep that up in a wee bit more than 20 minutes in a game and all season, you've definitely got players. You've definitely got players because that was breathtaking, mate. That's the best I've seen 25 years. No bother, mate. 25 years. The last time I've seen football like that, at that speed, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
He's put pace into the team, Jaffa. He's trying to put pace.
He has, aye. It's that kind of almost, the spring for turning defence into attack. But to do that and hit the opposition quickly, you've got to have players that have got the pace to do it. And I mean, we know Kent's got it, but putting all the relying on Kent, and I totally agree with what Albert and Jussie are saying there about possibly relieving Kent almost. Or should I say, from a defence point of view, if you're playing against them, which one do you go with? Where do you put all the players? Do you double up in Kent? I mean, you've got both sides, and you're looking at that and you're saying, well, you can't man mark any of them. You've literally just got to go wait and see what happens and hope for the best that they have a bad game, and that won't always happen. Matondo definitely looks a player. He's come from German football. He's playing at a good standard, international footballer. He definitely looks the business, and I like Albert. I really like the look of Tom Lawrence. I like that. I love a player that goes into the end of the box at the end of an attack. I love a player that does that, Ox. Big Albert used to do that, week in, week out, and he scored an enormous amount of goals for us, and we've been lacking somebody like that. And like Albert,
you've got to remember Jaffa as well. Jaffa, they've got 5 subs, so there'll be 16 of them will try to get by this year. They'll have them all, and man, they'll be like, we'll need more reinforcements, so we'll put them all in 16. 4 on Kent and 4 on wee Matondo, and the rest. and the rest on Lawrence.
That's a great point you make, Jaffa. I think at times we have been lopsided. With Kent being the focal player on the left, when he's played well, or sometimes people might say he's not played so well, but he's been up against a couple of players. And even in the final in Seville, that team, their shape changed when Kent got the ball rather than when Wright got the ball. But if you've got the threats from both sides, mate, it becomes harder for a defender.
Yep. Yeah, and that's my point, Ogs. That's exactly how I saw it the other night there. It was West Ham didn't mark Kent. They just played the game. The right back played against Kent and the left back played against Scott Wright. And then ultimately when Matondo came on, that was what opened them up. And it did look good. But I think we're all aware it was a pre-season, so you've got to just keep your keep your cool on it and see how it develops out. But it's certainly the early signs are good. And like Jussie was saying about the young Turkish boy Rıdvan Yılmaz, he looks a player. From what you can see, he's a Turkish international. I mean, he's just turned 21. just about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So if that deal goes through, that would be brilliant as well. I think it'd be good to get that competition in there for Barisic.
If the figures are right, Albert, we pay about £4 million. If it's true, you never know. But if that's true, would that be a first starter left back? Is he coming in? He's definitely coming in to start with that price tag, isn't he?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we have as good a season as last season, we played every game bar one that we could have played. Now, if that type of season again, you'll need them. It'll be hard to say who's a starter, no who's a starter, and who's no, because it'll just be the load, what game loads they've got. So, like goals and that. I mean, the boys are a bit of a freak, and so is Tav when it comes to these game after game after game. Bigger Evil was the same, 65 games. I mean, it doesn't normally happen that way. So, but if you've got them all fit and they've all got the same load on them, I definitely think the boys are going to be first up. Well, I don't know. I've not seen them, boy, but you don't, as you pointed out, you don't spend that money to bring them, sit them on a bench. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's like Ben Johnson, Ben Davis. It's the same thing for him. No, he's not coming to sit on the bench. There's no chance. So here we go. It's looking good.
I hope they would sign somebody else. It was rapid there when you said Ben Johnson.
I know.
Well, he could run.
Aye, and we know how he could run. I know why you ran.
Aye, Ben Davis. I mean, as much as we love Kelvin Bassey, if this boy from Turkey, the boy kicks on, could we have improved our first team? Is that possible? Is anybody else here on that? Juicy?
Oh, very much so. When you sell one top player for a lot of money, of course, like I said earlier, you can feel a little bit sad, but actually you can improve the team overall in multiple places from money like that. So the overall strength of the team can certainly improve. And looking across our squad now, I think, guys, and we can talk about this, but I'm fairly happy now with what we've got in terms of going into the new season. Possibly one more forward player in the striker position, perhaps, because in terms of out-and-out strikers, Alfredo and Kolak being the only two, really, because we know Sakala's not really an out-and-out. So perhaps we should get someone else in there just to make sure we've got the firepower we needed. Although that being said, I do expect we're going to get more goals from midfield this season, so could well work out. But we've got to take the injuries into account. Midfield is very stacked. Defence is very stacked. I think the only real conversation that we need to have now is who else needs to be trimmed from that squad this summer in terms of players out, because it's actually quite a big squad now. And even with 5 subs, number of guys that we're not going to see get game time. And I've got a little list, but we'll save that for later.
Give us it, mate. Get it off your chest.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think Simpson's got to be one who's got to be thinking about have we actually got a role for him? I would probably say not, because we've invested in a number of defensive players. He never played last season anyway. Rarely. Now, Katic has featured a few times in pre-season. He's been a little bit hit or miss, some of his defensive attributes. Helander, of course, we all know about his well-documented injuries. That's been really unfortunate because we all know he can read the game very well, somewhat David Weir-like in terms of his ability to read the game as he's got older. We know that he doesn't have a lot of pace, but I'm not sure if there's a place for him now, especially if we want to look at bringing players like Leon King into the team. I've got some fitness questions over Ruth, and which is why I didn't mention him just now when I mentioned Kolak and Alfredo, because I'm not sure if Ruth can do a job for us because his fitness is so unreliable. When your main striker is out, he plays a couple of games and then he's gone. As much as I think he is a good player, I don't think we can get the fitness out of him. And then thereafter, I think that's pretty much it. So that's 3 or 4 players right there. Oh, in terms of the midfield, it is very stacked. And of course, players like Davis and Arfield have already re-signed, so they're not going just now. But I'm actually thinking, are these guys going to get a lot of game time? But we know we've got the cover, and we certainly can't argue that.
All right, mate. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take that. We'll move it on, but we'll hear about if any of the listeners want to give their thoughts to what Jussy's just said. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I think that's pretty fair. I think the hardest thing we've got is some of the players that are on maybe their top contracts and they're not going to move while they're with us, even if they go south, Albert.
That's right, mate. You've always said that. It's a contract, it's moving them on. It's not as easy as you think. You might want rid of them, but they're no. But my 4 would be Middleton, Helander, Simpson, and Katic. I mean, they're as far as I'm concerned, they 4 are gone. Roof is one of the ones that fit and on his game. He's a superb striker. He really is a superb striker. Just he's right. You can't keep him fit. Nobody ever seems to get to the bottom and why he keeps getting these injuries. Because any player that takes that amount of injuries, there's got to be something fundamentally wrong. So that's the problem with Roof, innit? I think if we get them fit, I don't think it'll be this window, but if we get them fit, I think we'll try to get them fit for the winter window, and they'll be letting them go then. By that time, Alfie should be back.
You never know. I get your points. I would struggle to argue with any of the points, and they're good points. Yeah, I think Middleton, I don't think he'll go. I think he might leave the club on loan. Somebody might take a percentage of his wages, and I think that's the best we'll do economically. Maybe some of the rest of them are like that as well, Jeff.
Yeah, Simpson, I think, for his own benefit, I think Jack Simpson should probably find himself a club and get playing and see if he can develop his career, because sitting stagnating, as well as you're getting the money, even getting out in loan ops, in the case of Middleton as well, and who knows, maybe that's what maybe will happen with Kmart Roof. Maybe Gio's already made that decision. By all accounts, we are looking at another striker, and that kind of, I guess, answers that question, because if he's got Alfie, Kolak and another striker, is Kmart Roof part of that 4? I don't know. Is he going to keep 4? Who knows? The best of these guys, you're right, Ox, some of them are on heavy money. Kmart Roof is probably, if he's going to go anywhere, it'll probably be English Championship. So it'll be a loan. And for the benefit of their career, I think the guys should look to get a club, Simpson included.
Aye, fair comment. I think that's the hardest thing in football now, Albert, if I'm honest. Getting rid of players that are fringes, because it's hard to say he's a good player when he's not playing for you. You can't think he's that good. It's difficult, and especially if they're sitting on decent contracts with a couple of years to go, you ain't shifting them, are you?
Nah, it's one of these things, isn't it? It's great fun when you get them and you put them on these wages and big contracts and go, and then when the things don't work out, both parties are sitting going, "Oh, did they make the right decision?" But the players have got every right to sit on the contracts. Don't get me wrong; it's their right to do it, and it's their right. It's their given right to honour that contract. How do you get rid of them? You can't get rid of them if they don't want to go, and it's as simple as that. If they do want to go, it's fine, great. As we said earlier on, shake hands and move on. But if they don't want to go and you want rid of them, that's the big problem. That is the big problem. And you're not wanting to be one of the clubs that makes life miserable for people to try and force them out the door, because that will not work. I mean, it never has worked, because they'll just dig their heels in and say, "I'm sitting here now and I'm going to sit to the last day of this contract." But Middleton, a young boy like that, I mean, he has got something, Middleton. I don't think Middleton's a bad player. But he should be trying something. He should be pushing it to say, "Look, either get me out on loan or sell me, because I want to start playing football," as Katic should be as well. Because I think the players are too good they two in particular, are too good to be just milling about as not even second choices, third and fourth choices in their cases. They're too good for it. They should be out playing. Hellander's just injury prone. That's the reason we'll get rid of Hellander and Simpson. And he's just no good at the boy. Not at this level. He might have it second division level in England or something like that, but at this level he's no good. And who's to say he'll not get better and prove his all right somewhere down the line with another club? I hope he does, because you don't like seeing anybody failing. No, I mean, especially if they've been a Rangers player.
No. I mean, the boy's got all attributes, Simpson. I know he's no set header of light for his Jaffa. He's quick. He's 6 foot odd. He's maybe not the worst ball player you've seen for a centre half, but he jumps and he does 6'2". He jumps 5'2", doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He just has never. The few games that I've seen him in, Ox, I've never come away thinking he looks as though he's at that level. I don't think. And maybe that's down to us. Maybe we've never given the guy enough opportunities. But at the end of the day, at this level of elite football, you've got to seize your opportunity. You've literally got to. The minute you get an opportunity to get in the team, and he has had chances. He got chances under Gerrard. Gerrard bought him. Gerrard that brought him here. And Gerrard gave him the chance, but he just didn't, for a variety of different reasons. The guy's never been injured or anything. I just don't think he fits in at this level of our club, Ox. That's my humble opinion. And for the guy's own benefit, for his well-being and for his football career, I think he's got a place. And like Albert, I hope he proves us all wrong. Hope he proves me wrong and ends up playing in the Premier League. But he needs to get game time to do that. And he might need to go a step back to go 2 steps forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to put you on a spot, but I'll give you a wee bit of time to think about it, what you've seen and what you've heard, and if everybody comes in, what's your first choice Rangers 11 this season?
Good question.
Mm-hmm. Just in what you've seen and what you've shown, and we accept him, we're still playing a sort of variation of 4-3-3, would that be fair? You might set it up slightly different, but it looks that way still. Is that fair, Juicy?
Yes, I would say so. With the odd sort of variation of it, but I was playing it on FIFA. I'd set it up as a 4-3-3 still. Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, I think so. All right. I'll give you a bit of time to think about that, boys. You know what I mean? Don't want to drop you in the spot, I know we're
I'll go, Brian. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, top of the class. When there's homework involved, Albert's always in first. So we can go
McLaughlin, Taft, Golson, Davis, Barisic, Lundstrom, Kamara, Lawrence, Kent, Kolak or Cholak, and Matondo. Is it Matondo or Matondo?
You say Matondo, I say Matando.
Oh, that's right.
But all right, interesting. No Morelos.
No, at the moment, no.
No Ryan Jack.
You said what we've seen, no. You said what we've seen.
I'm just asking you.
No, no Ryan Jack. No Ryan Jack.
No. Okay, and then the Turkish left back. Are you waiting till he signs before you make?
Well, you got to wait till he signs, didn't you?
That's fair. I'll give you that. Anybody got a number 2? And we've not seen Davis yet. Albert, bold statement, yeah?
Yeah. But he's signed to play.
All right, it gives you balance, because I don't think we've been fair in Big Katic, Jaffa, maybe even Suter as well. But they've been playing on the left, and they're right-footed players,
Yep, and that is a real that's a real question mark over Katic. He's been played out of position, the big fella. He came on against Black. He came on in Saturday at Blackpool. I thought he looked all right. Actually, I thought he was really physical. If anything, I think he showed up the defence a wee bit, because I thought we kept getting the boy with the blonde hair. I forget his name. It was playing for Blackpool down the right hand side. He looked quite tidy. He looked a decent player. And I thought when Katic came on, I thought that kind of stopped that danger. And it gave us a bit more edge up front. It allowed us the middle guys to push forward a wee bit, because they didn't need to track back as much. Katic, I'm still sitting on the fence on Katic. I wonder if there's a player still in there. He's had a bad injury as well, of course, and he's still on the way back to full fitness.
That's true. Juicy.
Okay, while you guys were talking, I've been scribbling down some players. Okay, so for me, McLaughlin in goal, Bassey as a left back, and that could change, but we haven't signed Yilmaz fully yet. Ben Davis, because I know how good he is. Goldson, Tav. Now in the midfield, I think this is a little bit more questionable because we've got so many options. So I don't really think there's too much of a right or wrong answer. But for me, Kamara, Lundstrom, Lawrence in that number 10 position. And then Kent, Alfredo, Matondo. And bearing in mind what Albert said, Morales isn't yet fully fit. So that will be Kolak for a period of time. So we're going to get to see exactly how good he is with the rest of the players around him. And, I've been quite pleased with what I've seen so far. It'd be great when he gets the goal. But as far as that midfield goes, that's a bit more interchangeable. You can take out Kamara or Lundstrom for Jack, depending on who we're playing against. You don't always need to play two holdings. I think one of the mistakes Gerrard made was we played two holding players too often in the SPFL when we didn't really need to. We should attack teams a bit more. But in Europe, I could totally understand that. But it's really nice as you're building a team now to realise how many options you've got in each position. And that's what we want.
Juicy, nobody even spoke about the boy Tillman.
Well, yes,
No.
he's good. I mean, he's not obviously featured yet. Neither is Davis, but I put him in my team. Tillman's good, and he will be that player to push Lawrence and later Hadji for that number 10 position. His best position, I think, is 10. But he will. That's another player who I hope will be as good as we all think that he is, and from what we've seen. So that gives us potentially 3 players in the number 10 position. So Hadji will have his work cut out by the time he gets back, but no, he needn't worry for now. We know he's still got plenty of rehab left to do, but we're going to be hopefully getting the best Hadji and the best Alfredo that they could possibly be when they come back to us, and that would be fantastic because it would be like another 2 new signings.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Jaffa?
I think he's going to play 3 at the back.
Okay.
I think we're going, and that's how we set up on Saturday at Blackpool. We set up with 3 at the back, and Tab and Barisic were effectively playing in midfield. Really pushed up.
When Lundstrom was back next to him.
Yes, aye. Lundstrom was playing in the 3, and I think you could see the back 3 on occasions being Suter, Davis, and Golson. With Tav and possibly Yilmaz or Barisic, with Lundstrom in the middle, and almost playing like a 3-3-1. I think that's what he was trying out, and I think that was something that he's probably going to run with in the SPL now that he's got that many central defenders.
Interesting. I don't think you're the first guy to say that, mate. Because
or a 3-5-2. He could play Kolak and Alfie up front and play a 3-5-2. Depending on the system, because that's what Gio likes. He likes this fluidity. I mean, bearing in mind that same team could turn back into a 4-3-2-1 just quite easily, and it often did last season. We saw that in particular in Europe, where the team actual formation was constantly changing. It was fluid all the time, and that's what I think gave us a lot of success, because a lot of teams didn't know how to play against us.
I think it's good coaching, mate, if you change your system. I think I get it. I understand the philosophy. You do plan A all better, and if it's not working, you do it better. But sometimes if your right wire's getting mapped out the game, it's quite a simple game. You move the ball down the other side of the pitch,
I missed that. You cut out there.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry. Sometimes I think it's good coaching if you're fluid with your systems, yeah?
Yeah.
You move the other teams and they don't know what they're going to do. And if your right winger's not having a good game, you've got to be either sub them or you try a different shape to try and improve your team's performance, don't you?
That's that. And let's be honest, you need to have the players to do it. And I think that's what these players that he's brought in is all about. He sees them as being the type of players that he can move about the park, trying different systems. And during a game, as Jaffa pointed out there, during the game, no waiting to the next game or we'll work on that for a few games in the future. It's during the game he's doing these things. And it's good to see, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely fantastic to see, especially if it works. And it worked more times than it didn't work last season. Okay, we didn't win the league, but I think that was entirely down to Rangers themselves. I mean, as we touched on one or two times before. But no, I like what the players he's bringing in. So far, so good. We've not seen them all yet, but so far, so good. Very good. Enjoying it.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. If you're happy, I'm happy.
Aye, well, I'm very happy, mate.
You're known for it. You're one of life's happy-go-lucky guys, aren't you?
Aye, I've got a new phone number and I'm happy. Nobody knows it. That's why I'm very happy.
You don't even know it yourself.
You can just have imagined him having a go at all his mates for no contacting him.
No, I've done a bit of housekeeping, by the way. I'm going, right, I need to send this number. I'm not sending it to him. I'm not sending it to him. So I've done a bit of housekeeping. It was good.
All his mates sitting listening, never get his new number tonight. I've just heard it on the show.
They don't understand. They're not getting it, I know.
Oh dear. Aye, interesting. You need a squad. You need a squad, Jaffa. You definitely do. You can't go with 13 players in the modern football. You know, nowadays. I think I've gone because of the pace of the game, mate, if I'm being completely honest.
Well, that's right, Ox. And again, last season, on many, and again in particular in Europe, because we played that many games in Europe. I mean, what was it, 17, 18 games we played in Europe last year? There was that many times that players were coming on and it was literally they were on for 60 minutes, 55 minutes, and then the subs come out because they're all in. You know, it's literally go and give it your absolute all. And you just simply can't ask these guys at the pace and the level the game's played at, in particular against teams like Leipzig and Dortmund. You can't play the game at that for that level of 90 minutes, 95 minutes. You just can't do it. So the games quite often are played with two squads, and because of the 5 subs, that allows you to do that. And I think also with the 3 at the back, I think a lot of that system, in particular for the SPL, because we've got so much of the ball. And we don't need 4 guys at the back. We don't need that security. Not if we've got 3. You know, we've got real balance at the back. We've got the left sided, and with Davis, and we've got the right side with Golson, and we've got Suter in the middle, who's really commanding, and he's strong in the air, and he's good in the tackle. So if you've got that with the 3, then allows us, and we know how effective James Tavernier can be in the other box. I mean, in fact, it would be a point to say sometimes he's more effective there than he is in his own box, with the goals and assists that he scores. So getting him up the park, and as I understand it, the reading I've been doing of the young Turkish lad, I think he's got a similar game plan and the way he plays the game, very attacking minded, modern left back as they are in the full backs as Tavernier is. So happy days. I'm excited.
I know you're like me, you get excited, mate, you know.
I knew you were going to say that. I walk into them, don't I? I just load that gun up for you.
Easy, juicy, isn't it? Easy. You know.
Oh, we can all be the armchair pundits, can't we? But we can see the improvement, and the biggest thing that we saw with Gio last season was, as you guys have mentioned already, his willingness to make changes. They didn't always work in every match, but one of the things I disliked about Steven Gerrard was he didn't change it up much. The plan B was still pretty much a 4-3-3, which was actually one of the things I used to moan about Warburton as well. But I know that Stevie was better than Mark Warburton, but nonetheless, you have to be able to change it up if you need to. And Gio's done that multiple times. We've gone from back fours to back threes. He's changed the midfielders around, and that's so pleasing to see. And now he's got more of his own team. He's brought more of his own personnel in. We can judge him accordingly once the season starts. But I think he's probably, and I'm hoping, he's quite happy with the summer and pre-season he's had. We've still got more to come. We've got another 2 matches this weekend, Spurs tomorrow and Queen's Park on Sunday. So there's plenty more game time to be had for the guys. And another week of training before plastic pitch time at Livingston.
Yeah, here we go again. You're right, mate. You're right. But we've been joined by Andrew for Leeds. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, boys. That's a good wee chat you got going on there.
Hi, Andy.
All right, buddy. How are you doing? Do you want me to give you what I would start with, just as it stands now?
I just have to let you know that Sandy Chapman and Molly Matheson have retired, mate, yeah?
Can I not pick them then, no?
No, carry on.
Right, okay. Right, I'd go with McLaughlin in the goal. Tav, right back. I shift Davis over to left back, just in my thinking. Not seeing him out, but I had a could play left back. The 2 centrals is Golston and Suter. Our midfield would be Lawrence, Jack, and the Scouse boy. And up top, I'd have
Andy, his name's John.
I'm going to tell you something before you ever go. It's just that I can't pronounce his second name properly. Right, and I've had a couple, so just let me call him that for the time being, right?
You call him Big John. How's that going to be?
Big John, then that'll do, yeah. But there was only one Big John.
Call him Lummy, mate.
I'm not sure about that, though. There was only one Big John, wasn't there, for Rangers, in my opinion, but there you go. On the wings, I would, Kent would have to go on one wing, and I'd have that boy with the pace, what's his name?
Rabbi Matonda.
That's him, Matonda, yeah. I would have him on the other wing, and up top it'd have to be that Kolak at the moment till Morales gets fit, or if he's still there, right enough. So that's the team I would go with. And you could change it around quite a lot because he's got a lot of... we're going from saying, Christ, we're not signing anybody. He's going to have an headache. Where's he going to play all these guys? Sorry, injuries and all that's going to come into play, and it's a long, hard season in Scotland, and we know what we're going to be up with, but he's got a variety of riches there as it stands. It looks like he's bringing better quality in now than what we have been bringing in, or what we've been, been in the past there. I mean, you get 2 players there, one for Liverpool, although I didn't play for him. You get another one for Bayern Munich. So, it's better quality than what we're used to coming in for the Championship and clubs down south and in the lower leagues, so we've got to look forward. Just hope it works. The way they played on Wednesday night, I thought they were finding their feet there on the first half. Just felt it, and then he unleashed in the second half and off the went. So that can only be positive for the team going forward if it works. Like you say, pre-season, but I'm looking forward because it's a better quality tomorrow. Full house, so the guys will want to impress as well. So all good at the moment.
Aye, all good to the game starts. The big question about Andy's team, and I'll go to Albury with this, is the fact that he can say Matonda, but he can't say Lundstrom. Yeah.
I've still got to get that. I've still got to get that tunnel vision about him at the first part of the season. That's what it is. Once I get over that, I might be able to pronounce it properly.
Let's hope we don't say another Mikhailichenko. You'll be buggered then.
Oh, I could say Mikhailichenko. There's no problem there.
But you can't just say Lundstrom.
Just the Scouse guy I have a problem with.
I bet you Belinda Carlisle likes him, Jaffa.
She's been sending him personal messages. It's like I'm fulfilling her coffers.
Aye. God, the downloads of that song during the summer must have been, well, particularly at May time, must have been frightening. Just here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm just so excited, guys. You know, I just can't wait for more matches. Just keep it coming, as Bridge would say.
I get it, mate. I get it. I'm interested in that. I know that Ben Davies can play at left back. I don't know if it's his preferred position, Andy.
No, well, my only reason for that is I wouldn't play Barretts at all. I hope to get the boy that they're talking about, because, as I said, no seen him around, but everybody seems to be raving about him. It's all about, we can bring him in. But you know what my opinion is there. It's whether they can handle that Rangers shirt and the 50,000 pairs there, the secondary hybrid. That's always been the way I look at it. But everybody that plays for Rangers, I love, but if they don't gain it all, or I don't think they gain it all, I'll make my point. And he looked good, didn't he? Barry said he did a good game there. I said to Shugs at the weekend when he scored, I said, he might just go on a St Mirren, when he scored against them. And then he had that purple patch, didn't he? And he looked really up for it there on Tuesday night. So, as much as I bang him out right enough, he did a good game, and he seemed to want to get stuck into the tackles. It's that bothers me with him. He's just, then he went down against Blackpool, man. Somebody thought he shot him, man, the way he was carrying on. Then he got up and he's running away, scored his goal. It's that kind of attitude that worries me with him. But I've got to speak where I find it. I thought it was a cracking game there on Tuesday night.
Credit with his due, mate. Credit with his due. It takes a big man, as you well know, to admit when they're wrong, yeah?
I'm not going to answer this, just waiting for the punchline.
No, not at all, mate. I've just realised what I said there. Sorry about that. Didn't mean it like that.
Aye. I believe you as well.
No, sorry. Honestly, I did. Sometimes I surprise myself. Right,
Andy, I think you come on here with a steel helmet and a mine detector. I think you're going to stand in landmines here all the time. My God, he's going to blow up.
Listen, guys, I've come on for a bit of just some good chat here. They buggers in the WhatsApp absolutely bang me out today. Hey, dearie me. So I'm hoping he's going to behave with me.
We'll put our arms around him, won't we?
Oh, no bother. I'll give you a cuddle, Andy.
That's all right. Aye.
What's your pockets, Andy?
It's like that, is it? Aye.
Right,
I'm just looking forward to the game, though. I think it'll be. I think it'll be a good game.
I think
that's going to be decent opposite. I don't know West Ham, weren't, but I think we're going up now definitely a level. I think we'll need to be on our game tomorrow to get something out of them.
Step up in class, no. For honest, with the squad, and obviously they've spent a few quid quietly as well, Spurs, haven't they?
It's not that. It's that the wee Conte, the wee manager. He's got them fit, man. He wants full intensity. He doesn't want half measures, whether it's friendlies, pre-season, whatever. Each game, he's wanting them up for this season, and he said he's going to get them fit, and I believe that he's been working them hard. So they're coming up here, and it's going to be a proper game tomorrow. Don't think for a minute this is going to be a walk in the park or a wee training session and kick the ball about. You better be up for a game, or you're going to take an injury tomorrow. So you better be prepared to look after yourself and be prepared for a full-blown game, because I think it will be a full-blown game. That's what I'm looking for anyway.
I'm interested. Right, okay. Get yourself some mute. Because we're going to have a tune.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard, we've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Every most successful team in football. Well, Scotland's gallant few, who times they have been hard, will follow near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands at Ibrox Park. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I love that tune. I love it. All back, gentlemen.
Yep.
All back.
Come and join us. Give your thoughts on what the team's going to be. Even Andy said I'd go. Listen, here's a scary fact for you. Fox has sent us. He's not been about long enough. All Mexicans working on him. Right. The last Turkish player we had at Ibrox was Tugay, yeah?
Yeah.
And this boy we're going to sign, Ridman, let me just get Yilmaz, yeah? Ridman Yilmaz, right? Was born on the 21st of May 2001. Tugay's last game for us was on the 21st of May 2001. Whoa, that's spooky a while. Yeah, there you go. Just an
Davy
interesting.
spins his head round 180 degrees. I'm off. I'm not watching him.
There you go. I know you can make anything out of dates and coincidences and whatever, but there you go. That's pretty frightening, really, isn't it? Okay, all right. Aye, interesting your teams and that. What do you think of Andy's point of Davis being a left back? I know it's not his favourite position. I know Andy doesn't like Barisic. I'm actually surprised he put Lundstrom in the team, if I'm being honest. Jaffa?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why Ben Davis is with us now, Ox, because he's versatile and he can play multiple positions, and having a player in your squad that can do that, as proved with Bassey, is quite frankly, it's I mean, you've effectively got two players because you've got a guy that can play in two positions. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Ben Davis given an opportunity to start there or at least try there to see how he fares. And as I said, I think he's definitely. I think he's going to play three at the back this year quite a lot on occasions, not every week, but I think there'll be games in particular in the Premier League in Scotland where I think he'll go three at the back because he's now got the personnel that can do that. And effectively, Ben Davis would be doing that role if he was out on the left-hand side.
Okay, all right, fair comment. Albert?
I mean, originally I think that was the plan. He's going to cover at left back in certain games, but if we do sign a left back, I think what he's signed for now is to play left side and to play at three in the back. I think it's the fundamental things he was going to do. I think that's what we're going to keep him for, especially if we signed a new backup left back or a new left back for the first team. But he can play there, so it's plenty of cover now. You've got plenty of cover because Big Bassey gave you that. I mean, he gave you the. I mean, in fact, he's the only guy I ever remember playing two consecutive cup finals, winning man of the match in both in two separate positions. It's unbelievable. But Davis can give you that same sort of cover. Know what I mean? Well, Hellner couldn't do that. He can play left side centre half, and that's he's basically him. He's limited. It's quite exciting, isn't it? But I think somehow he's going to get suited into that team, and I think it's going to be as it Juicy said earlier on, three at the back. I think that's what he's going to play.
I don't know who done the three at the back. I can't remember now because it was a long time ago. But I think if we do that, I think it'll be Golson in the middle with Suter on the right. I think somebody did the other way about it. I don't know who it was. Was it your good self, Juicy?
Possibly, because I'm all for going three at the back. Jaffa said the same, I think, in SPFL matches. And I also said about not necessarily needing to have 2 holding midfielders for most of our league games either. sometimes I thought we were too conservative last season, particularly under Gerrard, when we didn't need to be. We were good enough to go and get a couple of goals up against most teams before we needed to shut it down. But as everyone else has said, isn't it great to have the options? The versatility of Davis is just what we need. You know, if we get Yilmaz, great, but then we've got a third option depending on how we choose to set up. And that's what Gio isn't scared of. He's not scared of changing it up when he needs to.
Yeah. Andy, we just played the European trophy final there. We got to a final with a group of players. Have we improved the squad since that final? In your opinion, your humble opinion?
Well, from what we're led to believe, but I mean, you know, talk's cheap, innit? And until we see them, that I would definitely say that the quality's going up. I mean, the boy Lawrence, as you know, I don't watch much football other than Rangers, but the boy Lawrence I do know a bit about. And I think that boy, you get anywhere around that box, he's taking shots. I think you're getting about 15 goals out of him, at least in midfield. I generally believe that for him. So I think he's definitely improved us, you know. I like the way he took his goal there the other night there. And obviously the boy who did the run gave him the ball to hit it. I think if you put the ball in front of him, he's going to hit. And I think he'll score a few goals. I definitely think you're looking at 12 to 15 goal getter there from midfield. If we get the guys around him chipping in, and we're strikers scoring a few, it looks good. Losing Bassey, I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, that kind of deal, that kind of money and the add-ons and the sell-on value, because I'm convinced that boy will make it. How you'll end up in the Premier League in the top 4 of their teams. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I was a bit disappointed with what we got for the Rebo, but if you don't want to sign a contract, you don't want to sign a contract, so that's fair enough. What I'm concerned about is on Morales and Kent. You know, even if they stay, just show a bit of loyalty to us and sign a contract so that they don't walk out the door for nothing or pre-sign in January. You know, because contracts, it don't make a difference if they sign 4 or 5 years. They mean nothing if somebody wants you and they come in. Just, show a bit of loyalty and give us a bit of money if they have to go. That's all I'm a bit concerned with them too. Like, And that was, but yes, to answer your question, yeah, I do think we've made our team stronger.
I'll rephrase it slightly. We'll say it on paper because we don't know how good these players are going to be week in, week out. On paper, same question yourself, Albert.
The team and squad are stronger. There's no doubt about that, mate. They definitely are. Is the team stronger? Well, your team gels. You need to see if your team's going to gel. Only time will tell that. And we'll see them playing, as Andy said there, we'll see them playing, see them. But as you're saying, on paper, our squad and team are stronger. There's no doubt about it, because you brought players into higher divisions. Okay, they've not won things, but they're playing in divisions where you don't win a lot of things. You know what I mean? Me personally, I think it's the stronger on paper, but we'll see if it's a stronger team. We'll definitely see that. They've got to gel. They've got to all knit together, obviously. The 20 minutes we've seen against West Ham, so I'm saying if they do more of that for longer games and over the season, then you'll say, oh, definitely, you've got a stronger team. But we can't say that now. We can say we've improved it on paper, definitely, but time will tell, mate. Time will tell. And there's no hiding place at Ibrox, you know that. There's no hiding place.
No. Fair comment, mate. Fair comment. You need to know how it sometimes, mate, it's not due to ability, it's how mentally tough you are, Jaffa.
Well, that's right, and it's like we were chatting there about the young Turkish lad who may well be coming in. He might not. He's not signed yet. But it's all been quite rightly said. We've seen many a player come in with a reputation, come for big leagues and big money, and they just, they can't hold that jersey. It takes a particular type of player to overcome that. Lundstrom, again, even look at last season, didn't have started off not bad, then he had a bit of a lull and really come onto his game second half of the season. And there was a lot of us, even on this show, Ox, a lot of us were saying they wanted Lundstrom away in January, and thank goodness he stayed and he fought his position. and he certainly looks as though he's got the character. And you've just got to hope that they do the recruitment character assessments on these guys and know what they're getting and the human beings that they are, that they've got a bit of digging, they've got a bit of guile about them. Because I think that goes a long way, especially coming to a club our size. Because as Albert quite rightly says, there's no hiding place, not at Ibrox. If you're not doing it, the fans will let you know.
Aye, that leads me to ask you something else, Jeff. I wasn't thinking about this, but just for the point that, Juicy, I'll move on to Juicy, but the point that Jaffer's made about you don't know and who's disappointed, who's been your biggest disappointment ever in a Blues trip? That we've signed somebody and you've just went, God, that's no worked out. Obviously, the obvious one because of the money was Tory Andrew Flo, but when you look at Tory's goal scoring record, it was pretty good actually, but it was just his performances. Anybody else spring to mind?
Yeah, his goal scoring wasn't too bad. It was just because we paid such an exceptional fee, a fee that we've still never even got close to since then. We were expecting goals to the volumes of some of our greatest strikers, and it didn't fit the price tag, did it? Unfortunately, but he was by no means terrible. Oh goodness, how long have you got? We've probably some of the worst signings we've seen was unfortunately because of the circumstances we were in our darker days when we were in the lower leagues.
We'll part that one. We'll see in the top flight then when we're in the top.
Okay, good. Because we could have had a whole show dedicated to that, mate.
Yeah.
That not to be said for those players that did stand up and play for us though back then, because we did have some guys that came through and did well, but we did have a number that were poor. I might have to think about this. We've had a few forward players that haven't always worked out. I quite liked Sebastian Rosenthal, but he had fitness issues. He never really quite got to speed, did he? He was in and out. In that time period, he was really up against it, wasn't he? In terms of a lot of the quality that we had. We've had a number of players that have been unlucky. I mean, poor Daniel Prodan, may rest in peace, never even got to play for us, did he? So we can't even measure him. But to sign for a club and never actually play is quite sad, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, anybody spring your mind quickly, Albert?
Yeah, so I go for me.
Tern.
Jonas Tern for me. Yeah.
Came with some reputation. Don't get me wrong, the boy was some player. He just never done it for us. He scored one brilliant goal, but never really done it for us, which was a shame.
He was a top player. I get that. That's a fair shout. Who was there? Salenko, the Russian boy, was saying.
Yeah, Salenko come with a reputation, didn't he? And he absolutely flopped, didn't he?
I've got another one, Oxjab.
Go on then.
Stefan Giavash.
He scored 5 goals in his first team debut, was it? At St Johnstone.
St Johnstone.
Yeah, he looked hot, didn't he, to start with? Yeah.
Yeah, first shout, mate. I came with a big rep, aye.
Big helmet, he'd Sebo and all.
Sebo. He was Foxy loved him.
Oh, boy. You know the funny thing about him? He couldn't accuse us with a banjo, but every fan loved him.
He's just one of the guys, isn't he?
I just think that became pity, if I'm being honest, Andy. No,
well, that's what I mean.
There's been a few, but you go on and on. And Bartram, there's another one, came and didn't like it. There's just hundreds of them. Over the years, oh, good grief. It's sad. The damn shoot there, another one. Again, sat in the stand for 2 years, collecting wages, you know what I mean? You remember him? We fought that mob out of the city for him and we got him.
Aye, I came for the day, and just, that was it. Peter done it, aye. But, so there's no guarantees, that's the point I'm trying to make, Jaffa, but you just have to see where it goes, yeah?
Well, you hope
the ugliest player we ever signed was David Dodds.
What was that?
The ugliest player we ever signed was David Dawes, wasn't it? Elephant Man.
In your opinion, Albert, because you know what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, definitely in my opinion, mate. Yeah. But he was ugly.
Yeah. But we'll see what it takes us with the new signings. I accept your point. I think we have improved the quality. Potentially we could improve it even more. I think a lot of people said that we had to refresh the squad. Juicy, then Andy.
Did you ask what needs to be refreshed still?
But I think a lot of people have said that at the end of the season, the squad needed refreshed. It was important we done it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, some people were critical. They didn't think we'd move very quickly, as I said earlier. But we've got the business pretty much done and dusted now. And there's some people, like I said, I do think we could still possibly need to look at a third striker because of the Roof situation. And I'm just not convinced there's longevity there with him. And as Albert said, he doesn't take away the quality that he has. But, you know, we need longevity from a player in terms of being able to appear when we need them to and not be constantly on the shelf. And maybe a small question mark over the goalkeeper. Don't dislike McLaughlin, and I do think he's our number one as it stands now. But there's just a couple of things in pre-season which I've seen where we conceded a couple of goals where I thought he could have done better. But that's being a little bit overly critical at this stage. I hope you agree with me on that. I don't think we need to panic on the goalkeeping front. But as far as every other position goes, you know, I'm happy. I mean, we knew that at the end of the last season, you're right, Oxjo, we did feel that we needed to invest in a few positions. But yeah, I think the overall team is stronger. Now, Tav's got himself a new contract as well. So happy days.
Yeah, it looks that way. Not been announced yet, but it looks that way, and that'll be him heading towards a testimonial. There you go. Never thought we'd see that again, Albert.
Do they still do testimonials?
Oh, we're working hard on yours, aren't we?
Well, that was due 50 years ago, but I'm patient. I'm a patient man.
And Dave, did you agree with the sentiments that the squad needed refreshed, yeah?
Well, we said that more or less on my last show in the last week. So the show is simply that it's a combination of two things, really, isn't it? You know, Gio's going to want to bring his own players in and put his own patterns to these guys and how he sees his team. As Shugs always says, there's a 3 to 4 year cycle with your team. You have to keep refreshing it like anything. You know, you've got to keep, you know, as the word says, get better and all that. I think we're undercooked. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think as it stands at the moment, we've only got one striker. What if that Colak gets injured? Morales is out in September, so-called. Mm-hmm. You don't know when you're going to see Roof. If the Colak guy gets injured, where's your striker? I think we're 2 strikers short. I think that's what we should be looking at here. Get this left back in, get a couple of strikers. A couple of guys are going to go out of it. There's no guarantee that Ken and Morales is going to stay. So you're going to get more money coming in for them, whatever it is.
I think Tillman can play as a number 9, Andy.
Oh, right, okay, that's fair enough. Right, I thought he was a midfielder, right enough.
Yeah, I think what I'm saying, I think he can play as a number 9. I'm not saying he is a number 9, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do, though. You know, we've got to. You know, the team did really, really well. Let's not kid myself. I'd be kicking myself in the backside if I didn't say. You know, the run to Europe was amazing. The nights at Gaius and all that. The disappointment came where we lost it at the end, obviously for everyone, because you know we all had the feeling that we were going to do it. No guarantees, but you know that was great. But in the league, we were. You know, what consistency before and after the European games is a big letdown. And, you know, at the end of the day, and I'm still saying it's not having a go now to the new season, but we've still only won 2 trophies, so you have to refresh the team. We'll have to bring in better quality. That's going to start winning us these trophies. And then we're all going to be happy. And we'll build it. As Albert said at the end, it's the new Rangers coming. It's the class of 22 now. And that's what we've got to start making now. And I think Gio's aware of that. And another refreshing thing, for a friendly on Wednesday or Tuesday night there, But you usually see them a bit of a jollier managers looking on the sideline. Broncos was up there controlling it, telling them where to go and all that. I found that very refreshing in a friendly, to be honest with you. You know, just go through the motions. I
never thought I'd say this on Rangers Radio, but that's a good point you make, Andy. But has this to Jaffa, is Gio now grown into the job? Because remember, he only joined us in November, and then it just seemed like a whirlwind because of the European run. He's now establishing himself. Jaffa,
I think that's a fact, Docs, and he will be more comfortable in the job because he's trying to put his own stamp on it. Every manager does it their own way. You know, that's just the way it goes. He had to pick up the reins from where Stevie G had left things off in November. And you're right, it was a bit of a whirlwind that ensued then because we had this marvellous run. We were still in contention for the league. In fact, we were still leading the league at that point. We were 6 points ahead. But we know what happened in that. And I think he was desperate to get to the summer because the transfer window in the winter, there isn't as much availability of players willing to move around because of their contract when they're ending and so forth. And I'm quite sure what's happened with the recruitment in the last few weeks has been getting worked on probably for the last 6 months since he was there. And it's good to see that he's putting his stamp on it. I really like some of the signings that we've made because I think they're fitting into his model and the way he wants to play it. And let's hope that it's that Dutch fluidity, that way that we see a lot of the Dutch teams playing. I really like that and I'm excited about it. And I hope the team can pick that kind of coaching up, as you pointed out yourself earlier, Ox. That all happens in the training ground, and that happens in pre-season a lot of the time when they start working out formations and how they're going to play. And it was the first thing I noticed on Saturday as soon as the team set up against Blackpool. I turned to the fella next to me and I said, "We're playing three at the back. We're starting with a back three." And I thought for the first probably 35 minutes, I thought it worked really well. We got cut up a couple of times, but it'd be good to see how that... He didn't play it on Tuesday night against West Ham. I didn't expect him to. I think it's adventurous, and to say the least. The players probably need to learn a bit more about it. But in essence, I'm excited about the players that he's brought in and how he's refreshed the squad.
Albert?
As far as freshen the squad, you definitely need to freshen the squad. Let's put it this way. The team that we broke up there ran its course. And let's look at what they achieved. They achieved a 55. They went on beating on that. They set a defensive record. They go to the UEFA Cup final and they win a Scottish Cup. So that team has now ran its course. This team now is starting to build this team. So this team needs to take his own. Gio is now in place, and you've said he's settled now. He's actually settled down now. So here we go now. This is the new team. This is the new manager for this start of this season onward, and let's see where they take us. Because that other team done brilliant. They done absolutely brilliant. All things considered, they could have won more. They let themselves down a couple of times, and they could have won more. So I want to see this team now being multiple winners at different trophies. You know what I mean? And pushing us on. If we get a run in Europe and we get even to a final, be great, be fantastic. But let's get realistic here, guys. This team needs to start winning all the domestic trophies. We're starting with a league. We need to get that boxed in. You need to get a League Cup win. You need to get into Europe, see where we get. Champions League would be lovely, but it's not necessarily that important. It'd be nice, don't get me wrong, but you've still got the UEFA Cup to follow and get a wee run in Europe and then get the League One, as I said, Scottish Cup. I want to see trophies now. I really want to see trophies. So this is what this team's getting built for, as far as I can say.
All right, I'm glad we stopped quartering people when they're late on here, because we've been joined by Bridgeman. Evening, Bridge.
How many quarters is that? Must be 200 quarters. I do apologise to everyone.
You've had a mare, mate. You've had a mare,
nightmare. It really is. It's been poor. With the big storm, huge amount of rain. That looks like I had something tripped out in the house and I didn't know where I was. Eventually, we've no long found out it was on the terrace that we've got, our balcony, I like to call it. There's a set of plugs there, and they've obviously been caught by the water, so, and it's stripped everything. So I managed to get them fixed and got everything else back up. So it was very worrying at the time. Initially, just thought it was our Wi-Fi that was down, but it
Right,
wasn't.
it wasn't. It was your power. All right, okay. I suppose that would affect the sauna and the jacuzzi and the hot tub.
Everything's off.
There's nothing worse than a cold hot tub, Jaffa.
You're letting our secrets out of the bag.
A big good evening to everybody, and I'm sorry for all the confusion. Okay.
Yes, mate. Yes, we'll bring you
a big 95-inch telly. There's an ornament there, mate, isn't it?
That's a shocker, by the way. Oh my God! Can I ask you if you've discussed the BBC at all?
No. We're finished with that. We didn't want to talk about that when you were about. No, you carry on. Did you see that? Did you see that article the night that they done for the Ibrox Trophy room?
No.
You wouldn't. You'd take power.
Exactly. So how did they see it? They never published it. They never put it on the TV, did they?
Yes, they done it on the news, on the Scottish news. There was an article for the trophy room at Ibrox talking about the volume. Let me get this right before I make a fool of myself. About the William Tolman, is that right? William Toll Trophy, which we're playing for tomorrow. Yeah, they done an article. They done a feed for the Ibrox Trophy room. Very complimentary. How things have changed so quickly. Yeah.
That must be their new reporters that have never been in the trophy room before.
There'll be some of the old ones will not be there, mate.
I don't know if any of you believe the BBC have now turned the cheek and said this and they're going to do that. I just do not believe it. Forgive me. I don't mean to be sarcastic or anything like that, but the leopard never changes its spots. That's for sure.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts, eh?
What can you say? It's the BBC. But I have to say that the all changed so quickly and happened so quickly, and within 2 weeks of this solution, they're going to be allowed to get back into Ibrox. I think that's scandalous. The short time, but what can we say? It's compared to six or 7 years of diatribe from them. And lies and mega lies. However,
they need us more than we need them, Bridge.
Well, unfortunately,
the other thing is we don't know what you're going to talk about in the show now. If the referees get it right, you're knackered, didn't you?
I'm gubby. I'll be going very quietly no, I doubt it. But can you say something's happened in London?
It could have been. I think it was Fox that raised that point the other night. He sent me. He said, "Did it happen at the 150th anniversary dinner in the Scottish office? Was something raised then?" And quietly somebody said, "What's going on here?" And then the next thing, things are resolved. Is it a possibility? Listen, they apologised. They need us more than we need them. And questions might have been asked. We were at a European final and they couldn't even come and talk to us. Yeah, how ludicrous was that? Remember, we never barred them. Bridge.
You're absolutely right. One of my, and forgive me for the last big point, main point I'm going to say about this, is that I don't think that they've actually apologised. They've used the previous apologies to say we'll repeat them and so on and so forth, but they've never actually come and apologised to anyone, neither our fans nor the club, as a new apology. That's not been done. And as far as I'm led to believe, and you guys could correct me because I haven't been right up with all the nonsense that's going on with me, they are not going to come to Ibrox to any meetings and any press conferences. The only time they're ever going to come to Ibrox is to do to beam back to Ibrox, whatever it's been.
They're contractual things. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Watch this space, mate. Watch this space.
Cool.
Watch this
Thanks
space.
for 5 minutes. Thank you.
No, not at all, mate. We were waiting on you getting that off your chest, you know what I mean? When that statement came out the other day, we thought we were going to have to come and get you a rehab.
I'll tell you what, I've not stopped talking about the enemy, that's for sure. I haven't stopped talking about it. I was over Ibrox today, guys. I was over Ibrox today, and there's a huge crowd inside the ticket office area. And I was speaking to a number of them, and there's not one of them wants the BBC back in. Not one. There you go. So the fans may not have the last say.
No, of course the fans wouldn't, but I think commercially the club will be looking at that. Yeah, I don't think it'll affect us at all. It's simple, mate. Don't click on their links if you feel that's wrong. Don't watch their programmes, don't click on their links, and don't read their articles. Simple.
Uh-huh.
You know? Simple, right? William Toll Trophy tomorrow. Quite an interesting story. Guy played for Spurs back in the early part of the last century. Played about 10 league games for him, moved to Northampton and signed for us while he was in active duty in Ayrshire. Gillane, I think he was based. I think he might have been based in Gillane. And then he came and signed for us. I don't think he played many games for us, but he signed for us. A black player who played with Spurs. I think he was maybe their first black player, and arguably our first black player as well. Walter Tull. I said William. I'm thinking somebody that shot an apple, William Tull. But an interesting story. So they've come up with a cup being played tomorrow in his memorial, so in his memory. So it puts a wee bit of spice on the game, and Jermaine Defoe's going to present it. Very apt, considering the guy's background, and hopefully we can win the trophy.
It's a nice wee touch, mate. I wonder who thought that one up, actually. But I'm looking forward to it myself, to be honest with you. I think it'll be a good wee game. I don't know much about William Toll or Till. I know the guy who shot the apple. That was my brother with a slug gun. But apart from that, it's I think William Toll played with Rangers twice. If I remember right, if I looked into it right. But it's just one of the ones, a wee bit of history get pulled out of nowhere. It's fantastic. Looking forward to it. That's all you can say about it. You don't know much more about it.
Aye. Oh, John, it was the Middlesex Regiment. It was the Battle of the Somme. He fought the Battle of the Somme as well. So yeah, he was a brave man.
Like yourself.
Aye, and he was killed with a machine gun on the 25th of March 1918 at the Pas de Calais at the age of 29. He got his victory medal, and he was inducted into the National Football Museum Hall of Fame last year, so maybe that's where the story came to the fore and somebody picked up on it. But aye, a great story. Just the tapestry of the history of our club. Juicy, then Jaffa, then Andy, who obviously remember him playing. Juicy.
Yeah, I can't remember that far back myself, but yeah, it's a lovely story, and so sad that he wasn't able to return from the battlefield of World War One. But it'd be a lovely occasion tomorrow to sell out. It'd be great to see Jermaine Defoe there to present the winning team with the trophy. So popular amongst both sets of fans, and if he was fully fit, he could be our third or fourth choice striker. He could still do a job for us, because what a quality player he was. But we've got new players now, and we've got a lot to look forward to. So tomorrow will be the test of all tests as far as what we've seen in pre-season. I think Conte is in the top three managers in the Prem. He's up there along with Klopp and Pep. And I actually expect a lot from Spurs this season in the Prem. I think he's been very shrewd with his signings. And I would expect them to be decent in the Champions League as well. So we can get through our matches. Who knows? We could see them again at a really competitive level in a group stage. And wouldn't that be fantastic, guys? So, but we'll get a taste of it tomorrow. And it will be a difficult opposition. As long as we can perform and do well, we know that we'll give them a game. And that's all I want.
Yeah, okay. Jaffa?
Yeah, it's a lovely story, Ox, I have to say. When I heard it earlier in the week there, I know there's always been a great history between our club and Spurs, going back to the 50s and 60s as well. So, yeah, it's just carrying on that history. And I think the two clubs know each other both at director level as well, with Daniel Levy and stuff. Daniel Levy at one time was actually on a board during Murray's time. Remember, he was a shareholder to one of his investment companies, so there's always been a connection.
The Enoch Group, yeah. Joe
Lewins,
right. Is it? Yeah. Joe Lewins, yeah.
Yep. So there's always been a history there. So it's and Jermaine Defoe being back at Rangers is and I mean I believe Spurs are bringing about 5,000 fans up with them tomorrow. So put most Scottish clubs to shame with an away support like that. Even West Ham the other night brought a fantastic support with them. So it's great to see that, and if I go back to my point earlier, Rox, that's where we belong. That's our club. So, and it'll be a great test on the park, a really good test, and I think we're all quite keen to see the team tomorrow and see what they're up against. Spurs are littered with class, right from goalkeeper right through with Harry Kane and all the rest of them. So, they've got top players, top players, and as you said earlier, it's another level up. But looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it, Ox.
Andy?
Yeah, great story. I read that myself. We've had some good games at Tottenham over the year. I think it was a 1 in 71, and it was a Wayne there, a young one there. I think Gary Johnson scored the winner. I think we did them 2-0 on a particular night as well, 80s or something like that. Well, we played them a few times, but what a fantastic story that is. If we could win that as well and they do the tours and all that, and see a wee bit of history in the changing room. What a fantastic story to tell the up-and-coming new Bears and Bears that are still around to listen to that story. That's a nice little touch. And playing tomorrow, we know we're going up a level, but let's give them a taste of what the Glasgow Rangers are all about. Let's not be topping them up. Let's get into them and show them what we can do. And
remember, if we're being honest, Albert, they were failing in the Conference League. We weren't failing in the Europa League, were we?
Great point.
Albert?
You hear me, aye?
Aye?
I think he's telling them, Conte's telling them, you're going up to face the UEFA Cup finalists, you know what I mean? So you're up to face a team here, there's no mugs. So, aye, I think they'll respect us, Andy. I think they'll come up there with a wee bit of trepidation going, and look what we've done to West Ham. So they'll know they'll be in again, put it that way. After tomorrow, they'll know they've been in again, no matter what the score is.
Albert, it doesn't matter who we play. I still think we'll beat everybody we play because we are the Glasgow Rangers. That's my thinking. That's the way I'll always think. You know what I mean? So I'm not really bothered. We're Gale Gaze a game. We know that, but we can give them a game as well. There's two teams on that pack, and the real teams on the pack in both, in my opinion.
Very good, Andy. Well said, pal.
Can feel the battle fever going on.
It's what you would call a glamour friendly, isn't it? I mean, I don't know why, but obviously West Ham, decent sized club in England, but it doesn't grab you the way Arsenal, Spurs, maybe even Chelsea out of the London clubs. Or, it's not got the same glamour to it. But it's, Tottenham Hotspur is a big tie, Bridgeman, eh?
Oh, aye. It used to be a kind of annual thing with Rangers for a pre-season friendly. Mm-hmm. And I've been to Ibrox a number of times to see them. And by goodness gracious, they've always, in fact, I think they've always beat us in the pre-season friendlies.
No.
I'm saying in my time, So we're talking about the 60s, when we went to see them, and they had the great Greavesy and you call them Alan Gilzine and people like that. Now, they were wonderful to watch. Far too good for us. Nowadays, definitely. I think we could take them tomorrow. Mind you, I have to watch it for.
There's an interesting start, and we're thinking this is new. We last played for the Walter Tull Trophy in 2004. We won 2-0.
2-0, brilliant.
There you go. Every day's a school day, Andy.
Yeah, was that in midweek?
Andy, where you on? You want the inside leg when you went to the centre forward?
No, I think it was that. I'm pretty sure it was that. I think that was on a Tuesday night.
If it wasn't midweek, it was the weekend. Is that all right?
I know. No, just thinking back when you said that, I'm sure that was on a Tuesday night. I was at that game, I'm pretty sure it was. And I was at the one when we won 2-1 when Derek Johnson scored. I can't mind if he got them both or I can't mind who the other one got. But I do remember beating him in midweek. I'm sure that's around about that era.
It couldn't have been midweek, mate. I wouldn't have been allowed to go on a school night.
Well, I used to run away, so it made no difference to me.
Well, we met Spurs a number of times, particularly in Europe, and they absolutely murdered us in the European area. They were a fabulous team.
That was in
I'm saying
61,
in the 60s, they had a great
62, yeah.
side. Yeah, they had a fantastic side. They really did.
Did they not go and win that trophy that year?
As a matter of fact, I think they did. But I mean, everyone in their team were brilliant players and internationalists. It was brilliant. They were great to watch.
Mm-hmm. Was that with Jimmy Greaves? Was that his peak bridge?
I would suggest it was. It may even have been stretched up to 94, sort of 64 time, because Greaves just somehow didn't actually make the England team for the World Cup final, and he was actually upset about that because the Roger Hunt boy did it, and he was a fantastic. He was called a poacher, simple as that. Called a poacher, but a great player for me, Jimmy Greaves.
Aye. I'm looking forward to it. Juicy, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be excellent. It's such a nice change, isn't it? Playing different clubs. Yes, Bridge is right. We played Spurs before, of course we have, but not for a while. And this is peak Spurs, isn't it? This is a Spurs side that's on the up again, and it's just going to be a fantastic test. And the boys are right. This is a very, very good Rangers team now as well, and we're hoping that they could be very, very competitive again this season. So we're no mugs either. So I apologise if you thought I was bigging up Spurs a bit too much there, but I just appreciate the quality of the opposition, and that season a couple of years ago when we played Kilmarnock 7 times in one season, I'm still recovering from it. That got me down, and it does bother me that we play the same teams so many times, and that really was a record for me, watching us play Kilmarnock 7 times in one season, and three times in cups because of a score draw in the Scottish Cup, in the League Cup, and then 4 times in the league. And isn't it nice in pre-season that you can just experience some different teams, and especially when it's teams from down south that have got big followings of fans and spend a lot of money on their players, and we can really test ourselves. And that's the opposition that we're going to be playing against, and in Europe we do well, and that's a measure. And it sets us up nicely, doesn't it? It sets us up nicely going into whichever players play the next day against Queen's Park, and then a week of training to be ready for Livingston, and then a massive game against USG from Belgium that we haven't spoken of too much yet, but that is coming up, guys, and it will be a massive game for us.
They're just going to keep coming. It's going to be exciting. Last season ended, I wouldn't say in a whimper, but obviously we won the Scottish Cup, and I think we all had a hangover, different kinds of hangovers, Andy, to the game on the Wednesday night, but we all had a hangover, collective hangover, yeah? Yeah,
the bad one and the good one at the end. That was how mine ended up like here. But look, we got there. It's been nice, and we've got to these finals. Only won one of them, right enough. But you never know. It might happen. Nobody said we'd have done it last year, and he's very, very tactically astute, this guy, and I think he gets these players to really buy into his methods and the way he works, and they take off and they get the grip of playing in that Rangers shirt. Big things could be in front of us. One thing for sure is in the next 4-year spell, we're looking for more than 2 trophies. And I think Gio Van Bronckhorst and the playing staff that he brings in should be of that mind as well. If they're not, they shouldn't be there, should they?
No, you've got to go and win every game when you play with us. But I mean, I think the League Cup is becoming more irrelevant by the season, mate. You've seen what's happening.
Not for me, though. I still think we need to win that. That sets you up for the whole season. If you're really on it, it gives you that boost. And Christ, we used to own that bloody thing. We
did.
We used to say, didn't we? The first time, every time we won that, we were always the first club that qualified for Europe before they took the coefficient away from it.
Yeah, it doesn't get you anywhere now and then, but it doesn't earn you anything. It doesn't earn you any money. I know we'd like to win it, but if you gave me a personal choice, I'll take this from the panel. Been competing in Europe, deep into the competition of the League Cup, the way modern football went, I think there's no competition. Jaffa.
Yeah, I mean, if with the way we've re-established ourselves back in the European forefront, Ox, with the last 5 seasons or so that we've been in the UEFA Cup, we've been playing too many games, and obviously the league. But I take Andy's point, because I do believe that it does set you up for the season. I think there's a momentum there can take place, and players get into the habit of winning, Ox, as well. But I mean, now at the games that we're playing, if you're in, as you say, you're going deep into European competitions. You've got the Scottish Cup to play, and you've got 38 games in your league, which we have, which is still a heavy league campaign. The League Cup is becoming less important and probably has less credibility. But the only point that it does have credibility for me is at the end of the season, when you can say you've won a treble.
I get that. I'm not saying I don't want to win it, by the way, I said, but if you give me a choice, yeah. Albert.
I mean, it has run its course, but it's there to be won, so you know to go and win it. That's as simple as that, isn't it? But if we all had a choice to get rid of it and bring something else in place, we would do it. But Scottish football, remember, we don't grow the game or anything up here. We stagnate and just get in circles chasing our tails, no? So, to that point of view, it's there. So, go and win it. That's as simple as that for me. Every trophy, they're up for winning. Go and try and win it.
I tell you who'll not be winning it, Bridgeman. Hibs.
The new coefficient killers.
Murray.
Oh, Hibs as well.
Sligo Rovers.
That was terrible.
But as Murray will get knocked out, or they can go through?
Second
leg to play. Okay. Mind they're away at home then. Sligo Rovers, fabulous, just fabulous. They're a real knockout, isn't they? They're a real knockout. I wonder if their manager will last. That Murray will manage. Ain't you last?
Who's it, Graham Alexander? I don't know, mate. Don't really care. Don't really care. Right, okay.
Oxjay, sorry to interrupt. Just on the subject of the League Cup, if I may, because of the irritation, should I say, of the FIFA World Cup this year, the League Cup dates are not going to be as they usually are. It will not be completed before Christmas this year. We will have last 16 and quarterfinals before the end of October. But the semi-finals are going to be in January and the final will be in February. So it will still be the first competition completed, but it won't be until after Christmas.
It just shows you how well organised our football is, isn't it? There's only 16 teams left in it by the time we come into it. It's going to take about 8 months to run it, Jaffa.
Yep, that's the SPFL and the SFA for you, Ox.
Okay.
They couldn't run the proverbial in a brewery.
Nope, not a chance. And just to let you know, the winners are, I think, about £100,000 less than the Stuart Doncaster's salary. There you go. That's how irrelevant it's became. Yeah, says it all, doesn't it? Right, okay. Right, how's it going tomorrow? Andy?
Oh, I'd like to think we could win. 2-1. 2-1. And hopefully Golak gets up and gets his goal. And
I would like to see him.
Jack will get a winner.
Right, okay. I'd like to see Golak get a goal. I think it'd be good for the boy who's looked all right as a player, but obviously no scored yet. Albert, how's it going for you?
I'd like them to set a chance up for the league. The boys never know even said a chance. Oh, he's doing well, but he's not any chances, not one chance. I am with Andy 2-1, I think 2-1. And Jackie scored the winner for the stand.
For the stand.
I knew there was an answer coming at the end of that.
Bridgman?
I'm going to open the season where I hope to begin and end, and I'm going for a 1-0 for the Rangers.
I forgot about that. Juicy?
I think it could be a tighter affair than we saw the other day. So, yeah, I think it will be a narrow victory for us, maybe 2-1 or by just one goal.
You mean
that would be great. It could be a Bridgman, my friend, by just the one goal. But I would certainly take that. That would be marvellous, because it just shows you again that we can churn it out when we need to.
Yeah, no said.
3-2 for the Rangers.
At least somebody likes a bit of entertainment, Yeah.
3-2.
Right, okay. Well, gentlemen, Bridge has been on for about 20 minutes. We've reached that time of the evening. For Bridge to earn his wages tonight, we'd need to go into 11:45.
No, we're not doing that. No, I'm exhausted.
Right, okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Andy, give us a shout.
Yeah, just great to have you back. Great, everybody's back sounding safe, and hope we're all have a good gin. And let's see where this great show has takes us along the way.
Yeah. Just say better.
Yep, it's rolling on, isn't it? Pre-season, just 2 more games left over this weekend, and then big countdown to Plastic Pitch week tomorrow in Livingston away, and then the massive match against USG the week after, the following week. So just so much happening, and still plenty of time to see what else happens in the transfer window. So it's very exciting.
Cheers, mate. Great to hear from you. Albert.
Good chat tonight again, guys. Thoroughly enjoyed your company. Turn up tomorrow to see the new Rangers team, which is looking particularly brilliant. 2-1 to the Rangers, man. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope everybody else is looking forward to it.
Jaffa.
Yep, thanks for having us on, Ox. Brilliant being on the show with the guys tonight, and like the rest of the lads, brilliant. It's just magic to have the Fitma back in it. It's just have the Rangers back. It's brilliant. Having that space of your life filled again.
Yeah. Bridgman.
Well, what can I say? A very short show for me tonight, so I apologise to everybody for being a nuisance and so on and so forth. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and Oxley, a tremendous show, and I'll listen intently to the replay. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, it sounds like it's a huge match tomorrow, and it sounds like this is the first of a massive season for Rangers at Ibrox. So everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us, and Rangers get out there and score 1-0 to the Rangers. Come on, give us it. Keep it going.
Bridge, you set a record tonight. That's the longest mute you've ever been on.
Well said.
He also set a record that it was the quickest he's ever talked to the BBC. Right. Bridge, I've got good news and bad news for you. Fox says you've not been caught up, mate. Yeah? You have to use a holiday. Right, okay. Right, can I thank Bridge for joining us late on? Felt for him tonight. We were getting a text message. He's having a lot of issues at home. Great to hear from Bridge forwards. Thanks, Andy, for joining us, mate. Always good to hear from you.
Pleasure.
And of course, Juicy, Jaffa, and of course the one and only Albert. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Everybody for listening. That's the pre-season finished. We'll be back on Monday at the start of the 22-23 season. We'll be joined by the one and only Bridge if he pays his electric bill, and Big South Side will be with us. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Enjoy the match tomorrow. Come on, the Rangers. Take it away. Old School Blue.
let's get this team on a roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, for we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul. Come on, boys, give us a goal. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Left leg or right leg, you can use any peg. Let's get this team on the run. Free kick, any trick, you can take your pick. We will take it any way it counts. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Let's get this team on the roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, but we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul. Come on, boys, give us a goal. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Who'll be the next element Christ? The next Mark Anthony, the one to rejoice. Who'll be the one to save the day? Who'll be the one to tuck the ball away? Come on, boys, a little more pain. Come on, boys, you can do it again. Come on, boys, when the going gets tough, you gotta dig deep like Richard Goff. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Let's get this team on a roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, but we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul. Come on, boys, give us a goal. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Who's gonna be the next John Gray? 10-yard and show the way. Who'll be the one to make the play? Who'll give the Jarrett a win today? Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Let's get this team on a roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, but we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul.